So I already did some work on this way ahead of time, because I figured it'd be easier than trying to solder on stream, which takes a whole different setup than just putting my webcam over here. Yeah, backseat gaming is definitely allowed, and also absolutely no backseat gaming. Thank you. So this is a brand new shell, which is the Handheld Legend Retro 6 Premium Shell. That's branded. What I did was I took out the backboard from an original Game Boy, and I put that in here. This is actually where all the guts of the Game Boy are that tell it how to run. And in the original Game Boy, there were actually two boards, one for the button inputs, the speaker, and the screen, and one for everything that actually powers the thing and reads the game cartridges, which is this one. So we took this out. I had to modify the shell a little bit on this one, which I'm not sure if you'll be able to see. Depends on if it focuses or not. But you can see like a little white area that's super out of focus. That is the part I trimmed down with an X-Acto knife to fit the dial. For some reason, the shell as is was too tight on the dial, so it didn't actually fit, and it was really hard to turn, and it like clicked rather than flowing nice and easily. So we're done with the backboard for now. We don't have to do anything with this. We'll set this aside for later. Same with the front part. What we need to do right now is kind of just connect the screen and everything together to the backboard, and maybe test a couple things with the front here to make sure it all fits properly before we put it together. And then we'll kind of piece everything together from there. I have all my parts over here. There's a ton of random things, but we'll kind of go step by step. So the one thing I noticed when I did one of these originally, on the purple one that I did, is that the front shell also didn't fit the buttons very well. So my B button kept sticking whenever I pushed it in, which means I had to trim that as well. Hey, what's up, Infinitum? So I think I'm going to put these in first to kind of test the button press on them before I start closing it up and everything. That way I can trim these if I need to. So let's start there. So what I'm going to do is just kind of push it in and see that it like freely flows back down. I don't know if you probably can't see this, but I just want to make sure it doesn't get stuck in there and have any resistance. That means that it'll flow freely when I close it. This one actually looks good. So in this case, the backboard was the one that didn't fit properly, but the front board looks like it does. Now I'm not sure about this side where the contrast is. I can put this in real quick and check, I guess. Yeah, it looks like it fits fine. Okay, cool. Alright, we'll just do all that first because that's going to save us a lot of headache later. So it's good to check, double check. Alright, we don't need this right now. Put this aside. So, move the board to the side. This is the actual IPS screen, which is obviously longer than the Game Boy screen. So for instance, you're only going to see part of it. This bottom half will not be used. It'll be blank when we plug it in. But that's hidden by the inside of the Game Boy, so we don't have to worry about that. And then this is a bracket that we'll be using to fit it into place. The screen just slides right in to hold it into place, which is nice. This is actually a better bracket than the one I got on my first one, which was just like 3D printed. This one seems a little more professional. And this is actually the board that tells the screen what to do. Boop. Yep, focus, focus, focus. My webcam is probably not going to focus on any of this crap, huh? Oh, there we go. So this is the board that tells it how to do everything with the screen. There's a section on the side which will connect to the screen itself, which is this little bit sort of on the bottom corner near where my thumb and finger are. So we're going to connect that to the screen. So we can do that right away. So this is actually going to be attached to the back of the screen when we finish this. So we'll want to do that when we line it up and everything too. So just kind of fit it in, press down, and it snaps right in. Yeah, the one on my other Game Boy felt more like a prototype than an official, you know, thing, so... It worked, but it didn't really feel like it fit properly. Which is probably why I need to do some trimming, but that's okay. I'm hoping this one works a lot better. It fits the screen perfect, so that's good. So, now we have this attached to the screen. So one more thing that we need to do is we need to attach this to the back of the screen with some tape so that it stays on the back and doesn't move around when you're using the Game Boy. So they give us some tape for that. You can also use tape to attach the screen to the front of the Game Boy rather than a bracket, but the bracket does a much better job of making sure that the screen is straight and that it doesn't jiggle around, whereas this is very loose. So I'm not a big fan of using this tape for that, but using it on this to the back of the screen is perfectly fine. So we'll cut a little bit of this. Maybe put 2 strips on. Yeah, I like this too. This is actually double-sided tape, which is a little awkward to work with, especially when you don't have fingernails. We'll do our best. Alright. I'm gonna try and like pre-grab part of this before I stick it down. Up the corner a little bit or something. I don't think that's working. Alright. I'm not a big fan of using this tape. It's awkward, but it works. It's just like really precise to get the stupid back off of it. I hate it. There we go. Oh god, it's sticking to my finger more than where I want to put it. Okay. One. Yeah, it depends on the 3D print. I think they're, what they probably did is I think they sent me a V2 bracket for a V3 screen. And that might be part of why it wasn't really fitting as well as it could have. So, I think that was part of the problem. But that's okay. Wow, banger alert. Oh god, I took some of the tape with... No, I took it all with me. It's over, dude. It's over, dude. It's over. This tape's gone. Fuck. Alright, well, we have more. I'm not a big fan of this tape. It's super awkward. Alright, we'll just cut another one. This is kind of the same tape they use for screens in Game Boy Colors, as well as Game Boy Advance, by the way. Although the Game Boy Advance has more of a gooey, sticky gel kind of thing. Alright, how do I get this off? 1 second. Okay, that'll work. Probably. Come on. I hate this tape. Maybe tweezers would make this easier too. There we go. Alright. So now we'll just attach this to the back. Press down. There we go. Alright, so now we have it attached to the back, which is what we wanted. You'll notice the small ribbon cable coming out of it. We'll need to connect that to the board. It'll actually kind of connect upwards. So, the important thing to know about these... Yeah, it'll connect like that. So, the blue side will always be towards you on these ribbon cables. So, what that means is the pins will be face down. So that's something you want to keep in mind, I guess, when you're putting this together. Apply a little bit of pressure. Push the thing down. There we go, and then the bracket will sit in between these, essentially. So you'll put the screen in first, put the bracket in over it, and then do all that. So this is going to work. I think what we'll do is we'll put the screen in first with the bracket, and then we'll attach it to the board when we put the board in. That'll be slightly easier. So the other thing I did, which I mentioned, I think, is I soldered the speaker from the original onto the bottom of the board. So all I did was desolder this from my original Game Boy, and then move it over, which was like 20 seconds of soldering work. Alright. So, let's take this thing in, put it in the bracket. Actually, wait a second. Oh god, what did I do? 1 second. No! Why is it stuck? Shit. Get out of there. There we go. Is that even right? I'm not very sure of this bracket working. Maybe it goes here? Oh, that's why. Okay, I'm just dumb. Figured it out. Problem was me. Of course. That makes perfect sense. Okay. So there's this film on here that we'll need to take off. Maybe now's a good time to do that. I can hold it in the bracket a little bit. There we go. Alright, so we'll kind of... damn it. I guess we'll try and wiggle this thing in. I haven't really used this bracket before, so it's new to me. There we go. So in theory, we have a brand new screen, and it's straight. This bracket actually presses a lot closer to the frame than the other bracket I use, so I'm actually kind of okay with this one. This one's good. Okay. So that should, in theory, be good. Cool. So let's connect this ribbon cable. It's tough to make sure that this ribbon cable is straight and also flush. The first time I did this, the ribbon cable was not, and I had to reopen it and then make sure everything was straight again. It's easy to get it, like, a little bit off. There we go. That feels right. Okay. So let's put the buttons in. And the pads. Pads, by the way. Bam. It's a good idea to get brand new pads for anything you're modding. Otherwise, you run the risk of old, well-used pads giving you inaccurate button presses. And, like, mushy presses or missed inputs. So it's pretty much always a good idea to replace them. Most kits that you buy online for these will come with new pads. But if you want like specific colors, like let's say you have a see-through Game Boy, you'll probably want to look into those. They're only a couple bucks, so not a big deal. Same with custom buttons. Okay, so these are in. Let's fit the board and the speaker in as well. Make sure everything fits properly. Buttons feel good. I noticed the screen feels... One second. The screen wiggled a little bit when I was putting this in and got moved to the side. That's something you have to watch out for, because it still has a little bit of wiggle room until you close it. Maybe a little more to the side. Just pull it flush. And then try not to move it. Yeah, that feels good still. Perfect. That looks good. Okay, so we can screw this thing back up for now. There's still a couple things we'll have to do, and then we'll have to test it to make sure it even works. So, I need to make sure I get the little screws, not the big ones. The big screws are for the outside. I should have separated these. Oops. There should only be 6 big ones, though. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to use a Phillips 1, just like I did with the Game Boy Pocket, on these internal screws. It is possible to close these too tightly, and then your buttons won't work, because they'll stick. So it's a good idea to, like, loosely screw them in, and then check the button presses, and tighten as needed. Or untighten as needed. Button feel is so important for a Game Boy, or any handheld. Or controller, for that matter, if you're modding controllers. Like, the whole point is that it feels nice to play. So, it's something you should check. Oh, God. Rest in peace. Oh, I know why that happened. Ugh, stupid wire. Alright. There we go. These are the outside ones, right? Blame your cat. Salem's a good boy. He wouldn't do that on purpose. Unless... So the screws that are like behind the buttons are the most likely to be the screws that will make your buttons not feel right. Those are the ones I tend to loosen up the most. It's also a good idea to turn it around and check that the screen didn't move. If it did, you have to open it back up and move it again and then put it back. There will also be a couple unused screws that were originally used, so I'll have like 4 extras, because the top part of the board doesn't have any screws to keep it in place. Part of putting the screen there. Yeah, I have a good mouse. It's a G502, I think. Yeah. The one with the free scroll. Okay, good news. The buttons don't stick and they all feel perfect. So we have a front half of a Game Boy. That's exactly what I wanted. Cool. Okay, let's put some of these screws back so I don't lose them. In case I want them later. We'll keep these 6 here because we'll need those to close this back up. So the really awkward part about modding an IPS in... Let me move some stuff around here. I don't need scissors anymore, I don't think. Okay. The really awkward part is the ribbon cable. On the original Game Boy, the ribbon cables suck ass to get in. It's really difficult to get it into these slots that are on the Game Boy. The new board's usually fine, but the old board is like super awkward. It's very resistant to putting that ribbon cable in, and it's easy to damage the ribbon cable because you have to apply a bit of pressure to the front of it, and the ribbon cable's a little flimsy. So hopefully we don't break the ribbon cable. Again, blue side towards you, pins down. So I'm going to try and get it into the back of the Game Boy first, since it's easier to get it into the front. And the way that this has to work, because it's a 2-board system, is the ribbon cable has to be sandwiched between them. And bent a little bit. So it'll be a little bit awkward to put it together. This is the part I hate the most. The rest of this mod is very simple. I think most people could do this mod pretty easily. It's just the soldering part that might bug a little people, but it's such an easy solder. So yeah, the hard part here is wiggling this in and making it straight and not bending the ribbon cable, which I'm having a bad time doing. This is making me nervous. Alright, let's try a little bit of force. Nope. Fucking hell. Nope, there we go. You want to make sure it's flush, and then it's not loose on either end. You see how there was a lot of resistance there, and then it like... You might not see it like perfectly because my webcam's bad, but there was a lot of resistance and then it just pushed in. It's tough to get that to work right. So now we're going to bend this cable upward, because it's going to close with it like this. Sort of padding the 2 boards. Ideally we want to bend it as close to flush as possible. And then we'll try and wiggle this into the other board without removing it from the first one. It's really hard. I hate this process. Like, there's no good angle to do this with one person. 2 hands, well, 4 hands would be easier, of course, but all I have is 4 arms, so. Not easy. God, how did I do this last time? I think I did it upside down. On, like, my leg or something. I should flip these around. Yeah, maybe like this? How did I do this? I hate this. It's so bad. Because there's also resistance on this one, it's just not as bad. There's also not an easy way to, like, put this together without it. Like, to take both boards apart, unscrew them, and then put the ribbon cable in. It doesn't really work. Okay. We're gonna have to figure out a strategy for this, goddammit. It's gonna be a struggle. Come on, get in there. Oh, no. Alright, come on. It's like, it's not getting into the... Come on. Oh, there we go. Other side. Nope. Fuck. I bent the ribbon cable a little bit. It's so hard to get in. Like, the corners just never work. I hate it. Oh god. Alright, try again. Maybe I can get that side in first. One side went in. Get in there, come on. Get in there. God damn it. Let's turn it around. I got one side in, this other side just will not go in. Fucking hell. We're having struggles. Like, instead of going in, it's just bending the cable upwards. I might have damaged it at this point. Fuck. Alright, I have an idea. Let's do this side first, then. Yeah, I bent the cable a little bit. I don't know if this is gonna work anymore. I guess we'll try it. This particular ribbon cable is just being a real jerk. Maybe I'll switch sides. That one went in. Huh. Maybe it's just this cable on this side. Weird. Alright, well now we have the opposite problem. Let's get it in the other side. I don't know what to do. It won't go in. This is like nightmare fuel. Okay, let's try. Fucking hell. What's up, Smurfy? We're having problems with ribbon cables right now. This cable will just like never go in for me, I swear. I got one side in, but the other side is just being a real pain in the ass. Oh, maybe. Alright, I think I got it. Why am I doing this project? For fun. Maybe to sell it. Modding's fun. Okay, so before I close this up then, let's make sure it even worked. With the ribbon cables fitting and everything's working together. I don't have like a AC adapter or a multimeter or anything that I can use to power this on, so we're just gonna use good old batteries. See if it turns on. If so, we'll close it up. Alright. Hey, I didn't ruin the cable. It works. Sweet. Alright, so in that case, let's close it up. I have the power! Thundercats! Ho ho! He-Man! Ho! Because I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head. Anyway. Alright. You did it justice. I'm feeling a little peculiar. Alright, so let's close this baby up. So in this case, it's actually a tri-wing. You probably can't see that because my webcam blows. But tri-wing screws on the outside. These are all tri-wing. Yeah. And then we'll put the cover on, and in theory, we should be done. This is a fairly easy mod to do. I would think of it as more introductory if people wanted to get into modding. You can take a $30 Game Boy, spend $80 roughly upgrading it, and then typically you could sell it for $200 if somebody wants it, but or you can use it because it's nice. Whatever, I'm not your real dad. You do what you want. What's a crazy mod? Well, you can swap out the speaker with a brand new speaker, which also includes a new chip that you attach to it on a board. You can also install LED lights inside of it that piggyback off of the power with some soldering. That one's probably a little more complicated. I think there's also mods you can do. What are some other good mods? Honestly, the Game Boy is fairly simple to understand and modify. Which is good. It's a good learning tool. Sorry about the noises on my mic. I'm sure it's picking up all of my table noises. I don't have a hanging mic, which would eliminate a lot of that. These screws aren't in tight, but I'll fix that in a second. This is another place where you have to be a little careful with how tight you close it back up. If you close it too tightly, things won't work. In that, like, buttons and stuff will stick. It'll be hard to turn dials. Yeah, replacing the screen gives you a light in the dark. Better, less blurry video. The original Game Boy has a lot of blur to the image, especially in movement. So a new screen will help you there. You can just do a backlight mod if you want to keep the original screen and then bivert it using a bivert chip. That will do a similar thing, but on the original screen. It won't be as good as like a brand new LCD, but it'll be fine. Why aren't these screws going in right? One second. It's like they're at an angle or something. That old He-Man video? Yeah, that's a good video. Everything moves and works the way it should. Alright. So, let's put the batteries back in before we close it up. All the way. Alright. So, the other nice thing about this is that it has a color palette. So you can change the color palette of the screen by pressing in the contrast dial, which is now the screen dial. And when we close it up, part of this won't be showing, so all you'll see is the screen in the middle, like that. I wanted to turn it on just to make sure there weren't any specks of dust on it before I close up the screen, because that's really annoying when you're playing the thing. So, want to avoid that if possible. Yeah, a bubble under the screen, or dust, or a fingerprint. You don't want any of that. Also, remember to take off this little filter paper. I screwed that up once and had to reopen it like a dummy. It's like a little bit of wax paper. So before I stick this, there are some scratches on the screen maybe, but that's probably just on the plastic like thing that's stuck on top to save it from being awful. So that's probably not a big deal actually. It's a little hard to tell if there's dust there or not with this thing on it. Is that glue or is it a imperfection? Alright, 1 second. Yeah, there's like a little bit of glue on the inside of the screen protector. I'm gonna try and remove that. Alright, so instead of removing it, I made it worse. That's good. That's what I wanted. Yeah, this is something that would definitely annoy me while playing, so... how am I gonna get that out of there? Hey kitty, what's up Salem? You come to say hi? Alright, let me check the other... Okay, it's just that top part. The part that annoys me the most about Game Boy modding is this last part when you put the screen protector on. It's so important, because like you do everything else, you're like, oh sweet, it looks perfect. Slap that on, bam, a big fucking fingerprint or something. You're like, oh, I gotta open the whole damn thing up. Because now that it's stuck there, you're not getting it back out. So, good luck. You know? This part kinda sucks, to be honest. I wish there was a better way to do this. I think the rest of it's on the other side. Alright. Fingers were a mistake, it's true. Alright, press down, make sure it's in there good. Clean off the fingerprints from pressing down. There we go. We got a Game Boy. Bam. So there's one other thing I can do. There's like this little embossed thing on the back of it, which is like the Nintendo year, battery, etc. I can put a sticker on there instead so it looks like the original Game Boy. I think I'll do that. Some of these have blank instead of that written text, so... But I think it looks a little bit better with the sticker. Bam. You can also put that on the battery cover, I guess, but... No. Yeah, have a good one, Smurfy. I'm trying to get some different content in here. This is a hobby I've been picking up recently, so... There we go. That wasn't too bad. It was just the ribbon cable that sucked, but the rest of it was pretty easy. Alright, let me get a game cartridge real quick. 1 second. Whoa. Sayla? You good boy, Sayla. Alright. Wah wah. We got the thing. So this is my EverDrive X5. It's like the earlier version of the Game Boy EverDrive, so it doesn't have save states or anything like that. But we also don't have a real-time clock, so Pokemon games aren't really a thing I can play on this. But it has most of the things I want. So let me pull up a game real quick and we'll load it. Oh, let me make sure the audio is working too on it, huh? But this is just gonna let me test the buttons a little bit. I'm noticing the D-pad is unresponsive. Unless I press really hard. I'm thinking maybe I need to tighten the screws a little bit on it. So I might do that. Or maybe it just needs a little bit of work. No, the buttons are unresponsive. So if I hold it, it'll work, but if I just like press it, sometimes it won't. So that means it's probably loose. So I'm gonna have to open it up and fix that. So I'll do that before we're done. But it works. Duckburg, I'll solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woohoo. Okay, so I guess we're not done. We need to fix that button. We need to fix the D-pad. Alright. We'll just tighten that up a little bit and then try it again. I feel like some of the people that mod these systems also don't play them. So some of the button feel stuff and whatnot, I'd be a little iffy about getting from some modders. I don't know. It feels pretty important to make sure everything actually feels correct and works, rather than just looks good in an Instagram photo. Come on, get out of there. So at this point, we're just troubleshooting real quick. Which shouldn't take too long. What the hell? Oh. What happened there? These screws got like kind of stuck. Weird. Maybe the plastic's still a little rough. There we go. Alright, so let's just tighten these screws a little bit around the D-pad. Just this side. Or maybe open it up a little bit and readjust them. Because it feels right. Actually, maybe I'll open it real quick. Just gotta be careful about the screen moving. I'm thinking the pad underneath it is probably loose or not flush. One of the two. Alright, Salem has fallen asleep on top of the chair. What a legend. That's the other thing, like, was it just not flush? Was that the problem? Huh. Maybe? Yeah, maybe that was it. Let's just readjust it. Put everything back. What I'll probably do is I'll test it before I close it all the way again. That'll save me a little bit more time if I need to readjust this one more time. Yep. Come on, screw. You know you want to go. Why'd my music stop? Oh, because YouTube's being stupid. There we go. Okay. Everything feels right. Huh. Yeah, left for some reason just doesn't work. What the hell? If I hold it way down, it does, though. What is going on? Is it the pad? Huh. Maybe I need a new pad. I have another backup one. Maybe I'll do that. Could just be a bad pad. Alright. I'll have to go get that, though. It's in the other room. Because, yeah, I shouldn't have to mash it all the way in on the left to get it to connect. That seems ridiculous. Okay. Let me go get that extra pad. 1 second. Hold down the fork, Salem. Alright, I got backup parts right here. There we go. Oh yeah, that feels way better. This pad must just be bad. Alright, fair enough. That one felt a little spongy on the side. This one actually clicks when I press down, so that must be why. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well. We're kind of just wrapping things up, making sure everything works. Otherwise, the mod's already done. Okay. Try this again. It's just the left side. It works now, though, for the most part. Yeah, I think it's working now. It's still a little spongy, but it's definitely better with the new pad. So, maybe I need to tighten that still a little bit. Turn it off first. Let's open Trip World, I guess. I'm just gonna play a little bit to make sure it moves the way I want it to. Now, I have to press a little bit harder on the left, but it works. It's just not like a quick press. I don't really know how else to fix that. Huh. There's definitely the pad, just not reaching all the way. I also think when I opened up last time, I moved the screen inside a little bit. So, this is awkward. It's so easy to jiggle that thing. What's up, Lee? Thank you. Yeah, the mod's coming along well. We got everything working. Now we're just trying to tune it up so everything actually plays properly, as you would hope it would. Right now the left D-pad is a little touchy to make work. You have to kind of put a little bit of pressure on it. So I'm trying to reposition the pad and make it flush with the board, so it doesn't feel gross. This is a little bit of trial and error, though. reposition it and see if it worked. Maybe flip it. Oh no. I think I'll rotate it and see if that helps. Alright, let's fit the board back in. Looks right. Alright, the awkward part is I have to screw everything in before I know if it worked, so it's like, constantly screwing and unscrewing in these same 6 screws until it works. It's kind of annoying. Oh. This is why you don't connect the ribbon cable before trying to do all this too. It makes it really awkward to get the screws in. But we're too late for that. And I'm not removing that ribbon cable, I'll break it. Salem, are you getting nosy? You getting nosy and wondering what I'm doing, bud? You curious cat, you. I got these parts from Handheld Legend. Some of them, like the IPS board and screen, are from... well, these are unbranded, but there's, I think, Funny Junk or something like that is the brand that makes the branded ones. The branded and unbranded basically have no difference, except the unbranded are cheaper. And then the shell is from Handheld Legend and Retro 6, but you can get it directly from Retro 6 if you want. There's other websites like retromodding.com and such you can get stuff from as well, but I tend to like Handheld Legend because they're very good customer service. And when I've had ordering issues, they've been on top of like contacting me actively, rather than me having to contact them, so I've been pretty impressed with them. At the very least from a customer service side. Oh yeah, that fixed it. I am a legend. All I have to do is rotate the D-pad. Cool. The pad that was behind the D-pad, apparently on one side, was just not correct, even though it doesn't matter what side you put it on. So, who knows? That fixed it, though. Alright, so we'll close it up for good. I think we're done fiddling with it. I'll show you the finished product again. Whoa. I might end up selling this on Etsy, is my thought. To pay for more parts to keep modding, because I just like it as a hobby. Or I might give it away as a gift. I haven't decided. If there's somebody interested in buying it, I would contact them, of course. I might also save it as like a GDQ prize or something in the future. That could be a thing. Like I did with the Pokemon Game Boys. Donated for charity. Get one of the 3 broken NESs you have working. Yeah, and NES is fairly simple as well to modify and fix. What's the issue with your NESs? Oh, the NT Mini? I mean, if you're getting an NT, do you really care? I guess. Depends on what you're doing with the NES. I thought that was the whole point of having an NT. I'm not really interested in buying an NT, though, to be honest. I got rid of all my NES stuff. I sent them to my brother so he could teach my nieces about Nintendo games. And he was playing Super Mario with them on the NES recently, which was adorable, by the way. Good move on my part. I think I'm at the point right now where I'm okay just modding or emulating my NES stuff, because it's just so common and easy to get. And the signal quality is so bad on NES. There we go. Alright, let's load up a game and I'll show you it. Oh, actually, the shell is still a little loose. There we go. Alright. So, we have a Game Boy with an LCD screen. Focus. There we go. It's pretty clear. Focus. 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 God damn it. It refuses. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna focus. But the nice thing here is you can also change the color palette of the game. So you can get some really neat color palettes out of the screen. There's like a purple pink, which doesn't show up well on my webcam. But the darker colors show up well on the webcam. So yeah, you can kind of make some really neat effects with this. You can make it brighter, darker. It works in the dark, of course. It's just a really clear, crisp screen on console. It plays everything, so it's good. GG, indeed.